The message came on a quiet Tuesday morning. In the vast monitoring room of Earth's Deep Space Listening Post, Jack Miller sat at his station, sipping his third cup of coffee. The huge screens in front of him showed the usual patterns of space noise, until they didn't. His coffee cup stopped halfway to his mouth as the patterns changed. "Sir," he called out, his voice steady despite his racing heart. "I think you need to see this." Station Chief Tom Richards walked over, his boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. He leaned over Jack's shoulder, squinting at the screen. The patterns weren't random anymore. They showed clear signs of encryption. Advanced encryption. "How far?" Richards asked. "About 40 light years out, sir. It's—" Jack paused, double-checking his readings. "It's not meant for us. We just happened to catch it." Richards pressed a button on his comm unit. "Get me the Council. Now." Within hours, the United Earth Defense Council gathered in their underground chamber beneath the Rocky Mountains. 12 men and women sat around a circular table, their faces lit by the soft blue glow of holographic displays. Dr. Linda Green, head of Earth's Cryptography Division, stood before them. "The message contains battle plans," she said, her voice echoing in the chamber. "Detailed ones. They're planning to invade Earth in 6 months." The room stayed quiet. No gasps, no shocked exclamations, just 12 pairs of eyes, watching, thinking. "Show us," Council Leader William Harris said. The air above the table filled with projected images, ship formations, weapon specifications, invasion routes. The aliens called themselves the Dominion, a coalition of species that had been watching Earth for decades. They thought humans were divided, weak, easy prey. They were wrong. Harris looked around the table. "Options. We could try to negotiate," one council member suggested. "That would reveal we broke their encryption," another countered. "We could prepare in secret," a third offered. "No," Harris said, standing up. "We've been preparing in secret for 68 years, since we first detected their presence in our solar system. It's time we let them know." The council members exchanged looks. They all knew what Earth had hidden beneath its surface, in its oceans, and in the asteroid belt. Weapons that would make the Dominion's technology look primitive. Ships that could outmaneuver anything in their fleet. Defenses that could withstand their strongest attacks. "What do you suggest?" Dr. Green asked. Harris smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. "Send them a message, in their own encryption. 3 words." The council chamber erupted in activity. Technicians were called in. Computers hummed. Dr. Green worked with her team, carefully crafting the response using the Dominion's own communication protocols. In deep space, a signal began its journey. It would take 40 years to reach its destination, but that didn't matter. The Dominion would receive it just before they launched their invasion fleet. Back on Earth, Harris stood in front of a window overlooking the vast underground city that stretched for miles beneath the mountain. Millions of people lived and worked down here, building, preparing, waiting. Similar cities existed under every continent. Humanity had used its greatest strength, its ability to keep secrets, to prepare for this moment. "What did we send them?" Richards asked, joining Harris at the window. Harris watched a group of children playing in one of the underground parks. They had never seen the sun, but they would. Soon. "We sent them what they needed to hear," he said. "We're waiting. We're ready. Think they'll understand what that means?" "They will." Harris turned away from the window. "They thought they were hunting us. Now they'll realize they're the ones being hunted. We've known about them for decades. We've studied their technology, their tactics, their weaknesses. Everything they plan to use against us, we've prepared for." Richards nodded slowly. "And now we wait." "Now we wait," Harris agreed. "But not for long. They'll come to talk first. Try to figure out how much we know. That's when the real game begins." In the depths of space, Earth's message traveled silently toward its target, carrying humanity's first and final warning to any who would threaten their world. We're not your prey. We never were. Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of the Ghost Runner, Earth's most advanced stealth ship. Through the main viewport, he watched the massive alien station rotate slowly against the backdrop of stars. His ship hung in space less than a mile from the Dominion's forward base, completely invisible to their sensors. "Status report," he said quietly. "They're still arguing, sir," said Mike Rogers, the ship's communications expert. He adjusted his headphones, listening to the translated alien transmissions. "Their whole command structure is in chaos. They can't figure out how we intercepted their messages." Walker allowed himself a small smile. The Ghost Runner had been shadowing this station for 3 weeks now, ever since Earth had sent its warning. The crew had watched the Dominion's confident planning turn into confused panic. "Play the latest transmission," Walker ordered. A harsh alien voice filled the bridge, automatically translated into English. "Impossible. Their technology is primitive. They shouldn't even be able to detect our communications, let alone decrypt them." Another voice responded, "Yet they did. And they knew exactly how to send a message back using our own protocols. We've been compromised." Walker turned to his second in command, Lisa Jones. "What's the count now?" 17 supply ships have turned back," she reported. "They've canceled 3 fleet movements. Their invasion timeline is falling apart." The bridge crew shared knowing looks. Everything was going according to Earth's plan. The Dominion thought they were watching humanity, but humanity had been watching them for decades. Every piece of technology they developed, Earth studied. Every tactical advantage they thought they had, Earth had already countered. A red light flashed on Rogers' console. "Captain, they're preparing a long-range transmission to their home world." "Record everything," Walker ordered. He moved to the tactical station where Bill Turner sat ready. "Are the new sensors in position?" Turner nodded. "Perfect coverage, sir. When they send that message, we'll get their full encryption key." The Ghost Runner wasn't just watching. Hidden in its hull were devices far more advanced than anything the Dominion had. Earth had spent years developing technology specifically designed to crack alien communications. The alien station's transmission array lit up. Data streamed through space, and Earth's sensors captured every bit of it. "Got it," Turner announced proudly. "Full encryption key, transmission protocols, everything. Our analysts back home will have a field day with this." Walker watched the alien station through the viewport. These beings thought they were so superior, so advanced. They had no idea that their every move was being recorded, analyzed, and countered before they even made it. "Sir," Rogers called out suddenly, "you need to hear this. They're talking about sending a diplomatic mission to Earth." The bridge crew fell silent. This was what they had been waiting for. "They're scared," Jones said, stating what everyone was thinking. "Our message worked better than we hoped." Walker nodded. "Earth's defenses are ready. Let them come try to talk. Let them see just enough to make them wonder what else we're hiding." He thought about the vast underground cities back home, the massive fleet hidden in the asteroid belt, the weapon systems that could target any point in the solar system. The Dominion was about to learn that humanity wasn't just ready for them. Humanity had surpassed them years ago. "New transmission," Rogers reported. They're requesting permission to enter Earth space for diplomatic talks." Walker straightened his uniform. "Send word to command. Tell them Phase 2 is ready to begin." He looked at his crew, pride evident in his eyes. "The Dominion thinks they're coming to evaluate us. Instead, we're going to evaluate them." The Ghost Runner hung silently in space, invisible and waiting. On its bridge, humans watched aliens scramble to understand what they were facing. The hunters had become the hunted, and they didn't even know it yet. "Set course for Earth," Walker ordered. "It's time to prepare for our guests." As the stealth ship turned gracefully in space, its captain smiled again. The real show was about to begin, and humanity was ready to demonstrate just how prepared they really were. Commander Anna Thompson walked through the massive underground hangar, her footsteps echoing off the metal walls. Above her, a kilometer of solid rock separated this facility from the surface. Around her stood rows of advanced fighter ships, each one built specifically to counter Dominion technology. The latest report from Ghost Runner just came in, her assistant said, keeping pace beside her. The aliens took the bait. They're sending a diplomatic mission. Anna smiled. Perfect. Just as planned. She stopped in front of a holographic display showing Earth's defense network. Show me current status. The display lit up with green dots, thousands of them. Each dot represented a weapon platform, a hidden base, or a cloaked ship. Some were buried deep underground. Others waited in the asteroid belt. A few even orbited behind the sun, completely hidden from alien sensors. All systems are ready, Commander, the assistant reported. Should we start bringing them online? No, Anna said. Let's keep playing weak a little longer. Tell me about the underground cities. The display changed, showing massive structures buried beneath every continent. Population transfer is complete. 2 billion people now live underground, just as we planned. The surface cities are running on automatic, making them look populated. Anna nodded. After first contact in 2089, Earth's leaders had made a bold decision. Instead of preparing for war on the surface, they would build a new civilization underground. For decades, they had moved people below ground, a few million at a time. The surface became an elaborate stage, designed to fool alien observers. And the factories, working at full capacity. The display showed production numbers scrolling past. We've built enough ships and weapons to defend 10 Earths. Everything is hidden exactly where the Dominion won't think to look. Anna walked to another section of the hangar where engineers worked on a captured piece of alien technology. Earth had been collecting such pieces for years, carefully staging accidents to get their hands on Dominion equipment without raising suspicion. The intercepted invasion plans, Anna said. Show me. A new hologram appeared, showing the Dominion's battle strategy. It was exactly what Earth had wanted them to find. False information, planted years ago, designed to lead them into a trap. Commander. A young officer ran up, holding a datapad. We just decoded more of their transmissions. The diplomatic ship, they're sending their best negotiators. They think they can trick us into revealing our defenses. Anna laughed softly. They still don't understand. Every move they make, we planned for them to make. She turned to face her staff. Listen carefully. When their ship arrives, we show them nothing but old technology. Let them think they still have the advantage. She walked to a window overlooking an underground city that stretched for miles. Millions of people lived their lives down here, safe from any attack that might come from above. Children played in parks under artificial sunlight. Farmers grew food in vast hydroponic gardens. What about the asteroid belt fleet? Someone asked. Keep it hidden, Anna ordered. The ships stay powered down. Let the Dominion think those asteroids are nothing but rocks. She paused, watching a train speed past on magnetic rails. They think they're coming to evaluate us. Instead, we're going to feed them exactly the information we want them to have. Her assistant checked another report. The surface cities are functioning perfectly. Heat signatures and activity levels match normal human patterns. The Dominion scans will show exactly what we want them to see. Anna nodded, proud of humanity's greatest achievement. Not their technology or weapons, but their ability to keep secrets. For almost 70 years, Earth had maintained this deception. They had built an entire civilization underground while making the surface look normal. Send word to all commands, she ordered. Operation False Front continues as planned. Let the Dominion think they're in control. Let them think they've figured us out. She smiled again, but there was steel in her eyes. The best deception is one where your enemy thinks they know your secrets, but they only know what you want them to know. Above ground, the sun set on seemingly normal cities, while beneath the earth, humanity's real power waited, ready and hidden, for the perfect moment to reveal itself. The Dominion ship hung in Earth's orbit like a dark cloud. It was massive, nearly a mile long, and shaped like a crescent moon. Earth's surface looked peaceful below, its cities going about their normal business, showing no signs of the real activity happening deep underground. Robert Stone stood at the window of the International Space Station's new diplomatic wing, watching the alien vessel. As Earth's chief negotiator, he had spent years preparing for this moment. Behind him, his team checked their tablets one last time, reviewing the carefully crafted plan. "They're ready to dock," an operator announced. Stone straightened his simple black suit. "Let them come," he said calmly. "It's time to give them their first surprise." The alien delegation entered through the airlock. 3 tall beings with gray-blue skin and formal robes. Their leader, who called himself High Speaker, looked down at Stone with 4 eyes that blinked in sequence. "Welcome to Earth space," Stone said, speaking in perfect Dominion standard language. The aliens froze. Their translator devices hadn't even activated yet. "How?" the High Speaker started, then caught himself. "We bring greetings from the Dominion Council." Stone smiled. "Please, follow me to the conference room. We have much to discuss." He led them down a corridor that looked simple and outdated by their standards. Everything in view was carefully chosen to appear primitive. The conference room had a large window facing Earth. Stone sat down and gestured for the aliens to do the same. "You're wondering how I speak your language," he said. "Just as you're wondering how we intercepted your transmission. Just as you're wondering what else we might know." The High Speaker's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "We came to establish diplomatic relations." "No," Stone cut in firmly. "You came to evaluate us, to see how we intercepted your invasion plans, to judge if we're really a threat." He leaned forward. "So let me save us both some time." He pressed a button on the table. A hologram appeared between them, showing detailed scans of the Dominion ship currently docked with the station. "Your ship has 14 hidden weapon systems," Stone said casually. 3 in the bow, 4 on each side, 3 in the stern. "You have a cloaked communication array that you think we can't detect. You have shields that can stop any weapon you know of." He paused. "Would you like me to describe the classified modifications you made last week?" The aliens sat in stunned silence. "We know everything about you," Stone continued. "Your species, your culture, your military capabilities. We know about the other 4 ships hiding behind your moon, cloaked and waiting. We know about your backup plan to attack if these talks fail." "Impossible," one of the other aliens whispered. Stone's smile grew colder. "Let me tell you what you don't know. You don't know about our real cities, our real weapons, our real fleet." He stood up and walked to the window. "Everything you see on Earth's surface, it's what we want you to see." The High Speaker stood as well, trying to regain control of the conversation. "Are you threatening us?" "Not at all," Stone replied. "I'm giving you information you need. Every weapon you've developed, we've developed a counter for. Every strategy you've planned, we've prepared for. Every advantage you think you have." He spread his hands. "Well, you can guess." "Why tell us this?" the High Speaker asked. "Because you need to understand your situation." Stone turned back to face them. "You thought you were studying a primitive species. Instead, you revealed yourselves to a civilization that has spent decades preparing specifically for you." He walked to the airlock door. "This meeting is over. You have 48 hours to remove all your ships from our solar system, including the hidden ones. After that, we start revealing our capabilities in ways you won't enjoy." The aliens moved to leave, but Stone had one last message. "Oh, and High Speaker, the next time you try to hack our systems during a diplomatic meeting," he held up a small device showing streams of alien code, "do try to be less obvious about it." As the Dominion delegation departed, Stone watched their ship through the window. He knew they would test Earth's claims soon. They would have to. And when they did, Humanity would be ready to show them just how big a mistake they had almost made. The Dominion attack fleet appeared near Mars without warning. 50 warships jumped into space around the red planet, their weapons already charged. They expected to find a small colony, an easy target to test Earth's strength. Instead, they found hell. All defense systems online, called out Mark Wilson from his command post. Deep inside Olympus Base, the massive facility had been built into Mars' largest mountain, hidden from prying eyes for decades. They're right where we expected them to be. Around Mars, hidden weapon platforms powered up. Defensive shields that had been invisible for years suddenly glowed to life, covering the entire planet in a protective bubble. Inside the mountain base, thousands of personnel moved with calm efficiency. They had practiced this exact scenario hundreds of times. Enemy ships launching fighters, reported Jane Cooper at the radar station. 300 small craft spreading out in attack formation. Wilson nodded. Right on schedule. Let them get closer. He watched the main screen as the alien fighters moved toward Mars. Wait for it. Wait. Now. He pressed a button on his command console. Instantly, hundreds of asteroids around Mars shimmered and disappeared. In their place stood Earth's hidden fleet, 200 ships that had been disguised as space rocks for years. Look at their sensors light up, Cooper said with a smile. They're panicking. The Dominion fleet scrambled to react. Their neat formation broke apart as commanders tried to respond to the sudden appearance of Earth's ships. Their fighters turned to engage, but they were already caught in a trap. Launch our fighters, Wilson ordered. Show them what we've got. From the surface of Mars, from hidden bases on its moons, and from the disguised ships, Earth fighters poured into space. They were smaller than the alien craft, but far more advanced. Each one carried weapons specifically designed to counter Dominion shields. The battle was shockingly brief. Earth's fighters moved in patterns that seemed impossible, dodging alien weapons' fire with ease. Their shots pierced Dominion shields like they weren't even there. Within minutes, half the alien fighter force had been destroyed or disabled. They're trying to regroup, Cooper reported. Main fleet is moving to support position Alpha 7. Wilson smiled. Exactly as predicted. Deploy the Sunfire defense grid. Hidden platforms around Mars activated, releasing clouds of tiny drones. Each drone was barely bigger than a basketball. But together, they formed a net of energy that trapped the Dominion ships in place. Send the message, Wilson ordered. On every Dominion ship, screens lit up with the same words. This was your test. You failed. Retreat now. The alien fleet tried to fight back. They launched their most powerful weapons, expecting to at least damage some of Earth's forces. Instead, their shots were caught by invisible shields and simply disappeared. Their admiral is signaling, Cooper announced. They're requesting permission to retreat. Wilson looked at the battle display. Half the Dominion fighters were destroyed. Their main fleet was trapped and helpless. Earth's forces hadn't lost a single ship. Let them go, he ordered. They've learned what they needed to learn. The energy net disappeared. The Dominion fleet, not waiting for a second chance, jumped away into deep space. They left behind dozens of disabled fighters and a wealth of technology for Earth to study. Wilson walked to the window overlooking the Martian surface. The red planet had changed since humans arrived. Green patches of early terraforming showed in protected valleys. Cities domed in transparent shields dotted the landscape. This wasn't just a colony. It was humanity's first line of defense. Send word to Earth Command, he said. The test is complete. They now know we weren't bluffing about our defensive capabilities. What do you think they'll do next? Cooper asked. Wilson watched as recovery teams moved to collect the disabled alien fighters. They'll go back and report that everything they knew about us was wrong. That we're not just ready for them. We're far beyond what they can handle. He turned back to his command staff. And then they'll have to decide. Is it worth risking their entire empire to fight an enemy who has spent decades preparing specifically to defeat them? Above Mars, Earth's ships resumed their disguises, turning back into innocent-looking asteroids. The weapon platforms disappeared again. The shields became invisible. Mars once again looked like a simple colony. But now the Dominion knew the truth. Behind every rock, inside every mountain, beneath every innocent surface, humanity's real power waited, and this had just been a small demonstration. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a city most of humanity didn't even know existed, Admiral John Reed watched screens showing feeds from across the solar system. The underwater city stretched for miles in every direction, home to millions of people and thousands of manufacturing plants. "Status report from all bases," he ordered. His command staff began calling out updates. Lunar Base Alpha reports all systems normal. Underground factories running at full capacity. Antarctic City reports shield upgrades complete. All 5 levels now operational. Asteroid Belt Fleet reports no alien ships detected. All 3,000 vessels remain hidden and ready. Reed nodded. After the battle at Mars, it was time to show the Dominion just a little more of humanity's true power. Just enough to make them understand the scale of their mistake. "Show me the surface cities," he said. A new screen lit up, showing Earth's major cities going about their daily business. To alien observers, they looked normal and busy. But Reed knew the truth. They were mostly empty. Automated systems and holographic projections created the illusion of regular human activity. "Tell me about the underground network," he ordered. His chief engineer, Maria Torres, stepped forward with a tablet. "We have 200 major underground cities, sir. Each one houses between 5 and 10 million people. The deepest extends 3 miles below the surface. Total population living underground, 2.1 billion. Reed walked to another screen showing manufacturing output and our production capabilities. "We can build 100 warships per day if needed," Torres reported. "The underwater factories in the Pacific and Atlantic can each produce 1,000 fighters per week. The moon base can match those numbers. Mars facilities are already replacing the ammunition we used in the recent battle." The truth was staggering. While the Dominion watched Earth's surface and saw what looked like a normal, developing civilization, humanity had built an enormous hidden empire. The caves and tunnels under every continent held cities larger than New York. The oceans hid factories that could outproduce entire alien worlds. "Show me the asteroid belt," Reed commanded. The screen changed to show the belt between Mars and Jupiter. To any observer, it looked like a normal field of space rocks. But Reed knew better. 3,000 of Earth's most powerful warships waited there, disguised as asteroids. Each one carried weapons that could destroy a Dominion battleship with a single shot. "The Jupiter and Saturn bases?" he asked. "Fully operational," Torres replied. "The gas giant refineries are producing fuel faster than we can store it. The ice mines in Saturn's rings have enough materials to build another 10,000 ships." Reed smiled. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their ships. It was their ability to hide. For decades, they had built and prepared in secret. Every time the Dominion thought they had found Earth's limits, they discovered it was just another layer of deception. "Message from Pluto Research Base," an operator called out. "The new stealth system is ready for testing. They say it can hide an entire planet from alien sensors." That was the final piece. Soon, Earth would be able to make itself invisible at will. The Dominion would look for Earth's solar system and find only empty space. "What about the civilian population?" Reed asked. "How are they handling the truth?" His social director, Tom Baker, answered. "Most have known for years, sir. It's hard to hide the truth when half the world lives underground. But they understood the need for secrecy. Everyone played their part." Reed thought about the incredible discipline it had taken. Billions of people, keeping the greatest secret in human history. Children growing up in underground cities, taught from birth about the importance of their mission. Workers building vast facilities under the oceans and inside mountains, never breathing a word about it. "Send word to all commands," Reed ordered. "Operation False Front is entering its final phase. It's time to let the Dominion see just enough of our true power to understand their situation." He looked at the screens one last time. The hidden cities, the disguised fleets, the secret bases on every planet and moon. Humanity had created the greatest defensive network in history, all while making their enemies think they were an easy target. "The best deception," he said quietly, "is one where your enemy thinks they've discovered your secrets, but they've only seen what you wanted them to see." The Dominion High Council chamber fell silent as the battle footage from Mars played on their screens. 50 ships defeated in minutes, their best weapons useless, their fighters swatted from space like flies. The humans hadn't just won. They had completely controlled every aspect of the battle. "Impossible," one council member whispered. "They were primitive just decades ago." On Earth, Captain James Walker stood with Commander Anna Thompson in the Rocky Mountain Command Center, watching the live feed from their spies in the Dominion Council. The aliens still hadn't found all of humanity's hidden observation devices. "They're starting to understand," Anna said. "Look at their faces." The alien council members looked shaken. Their carefully laid invasion plans, their superior technology, their massive fleet, none of it mattered. Humanity had prepared for everything. "New transmission coming in," an operator reported. "The Dominion Council is calling." The main screen lit up, showing the high speaker. His 4 eyes looked tired. "We wish to discuss terms," he said simply. Walker and Thompson exchanged glances. This was the moment they had worked towards for so long. Thompson stepped forward to address the alien leader. "The terms are simple," she said. "You will recognize Earth and all its colonies as sovereign territory. You will acknowledge our right to expand and colonize uninhabited systems. You will share your star maps and trade routes with us." "And in return?" the high speaker asked. "In return, we don't show you what else we can do." The threat hung in the air. The Dominion had seen only a fraction of Earth's power. They had no way of knowing how many more secrets humanity kept hidden. "Your terms are acceptable," the high speaker said finally. "But tell me, how did you do it? How did you build all this in secret?" Walker smiled. "That's simple. You thought you were watching us, but we were watching you. Every time you developed a new weapon, we built a defense against it. Every time you made a plan, we prepared a counterplan. We turned your own arrogance against you." The high speaker nodded slowly. "And now, what will humanity do with its power?" Thompson stepped forward again. "We're going to explore the stars. We're going to build new worlds. And we're going to make sure that no one ever threatens Earth again." The transmission ended. In the command center, celebrations began as decades of tension finally broke. Humanity had faced its first major alien threat and emerged victorious without firing a shot in anger. Walker turned to Thompson. "Should we tell them about the Jupiter shipyards, or the quantum network we've built between the colonies?" "Not yet," she replied with a smile. "Let them wonder. Let them worry about what else we might have hidden." She walked to the window overlooking the underground city. "Besides, we're not done building yet." Out in space, Earth's hidden fleets began to emerge from their disguises. Ships that had pretended to be asteroids revealed their true forms. Bases on distant moons powered up their lights. Humanity started to show its real face to the galaxy. "Message from the President," and Abe reported. "Operation False Front is officially complete. We can begin opening the surface cities again." Walker watched as the first families began emerging from their underground homes. Children who had never seen real sunlight looked up at the sky with wonder. The long deception was finally over. "What do you think they'll do now?" Walker asked. "The Dominion." Thompson looked at the tactical display, showing alien ships retreating from Earth space. "They'll tell others about us. They'll spread the word that humans aren't to be underestimated, that we're not the primitive species they thought we were." "And that's exactly what we wanted," Walker said. "Our first message to the galaxy: don't threaten Earth. We're ready, We're waiting, and we're far more powerful than you can imagine. As the sun set on Earth, lights began to shine from cities both above and below ground. Humanity stepped out of the shadows, ready to take its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as a power that had earned its place through patience, preparation, and the ability to turn its enemies' pride into their weakness. The long wait was over. The deception had worked, and humanity was finally free to show the galaxy its true strength.